When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com.
And now, it's time to stand for truth.
It's Thursday. How are you? Amber. Hello. Hey, Dawn. Good morning. Laura, Chris, how's everybody? Alan, come on in. Come on in. Good to see everybody. Hopefully everybody's getting notifications. Random, Teresa. How is everybody? Noelle, how are you? How's everybody? Good morning. Pretty, yeah. Okay, Randy, a random mess. Please, let's, stop that talk or out you go. Hey, Gary. And just a reminder, My Ears Are Not Like Yours, available on Amazon.com. And this is a great gift for kids, giving them a positive message, getting them off on the right foot. So thank you so much for purchasing the book, those that have already purchased the book. And if you haven't given a great review, would you please go and do that today so that more people can see the book and love it as much as you do. So thank you. Hey, Teresa. Where is everybody? It's Thursday. Nobody got the notifications. Good morning. You got yours. Great, Chris. Glad to hear it. As you're retweeting, if you would you... please go ahead and do that and share. Hey, Julia, and I'll go ahead and read Psalm 140. Deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. Preserve me from violent men who plan evil things in their hearts. They continually gather together for war. They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. The poison of asps is under their lips. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from violent men who have purpose to make my steps stumble. The proud have hidden a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set traps for me. I said to the Lord, You are my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. You have covered my head in the day of battle. Do not grant, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Do not further his wicked scheme, lest they be exalted. As for the head of those who surround me, let the evil of their lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits that they rise not up again. Let not a slanderer be established in the earth. Let evil hunt the violent men to overthrow him. I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and justice for the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks to your name. The upright shall dwell in your presence. Amen. You don't have kids, but I may get it anyway. Amber, no, that's not weird. There are people that have gotten the book that don't have kids that said they loved it and said they wished that they had gotten the book and had seen the book when they were younger because it really spoke to them as adults. And a lot of times people are sharing it with libraries, sharing it with schools that they know, giving it to nieces and nephews. I think you'll really love the book. Hey, Candace. It is a very good book, I have to say. I wanted it to be, for kids to promote, like I said, encouragement and hope, and I think it really achieved it, and I'm really proud of that taking place. I really am, because I think that far too often we don't give kids enough encouragement and encouraging words, and a lot of us probably didn't have that as children, and it's great to be able to read and know that you're great just the way you are. And so hopefully you'll really like it. Hey, the Joker, how are you? Mark, good to see you. How is everybody? Nuala, hello. If you haven't already, please share with people. This is on Thursday. We get people slowly coming in on Thursday when I take the day off. Hey, Jules, how are you? Buy the book, read it, then pass it on. God will tell you who to give it to, Carmen said. Thank you, Carmen. Okay, so thank you for inviting people in. Slow Thursday, slow Thursday. Hey, Gary. Um, let's see. Now, one thing I know you already know, and that is that the president has decided to send the National Guard down to the borders. Hopefully, people in places like California will be respectful of what the president wants to do and open up the borders to the National Guard. I would imagine that in the event that they decide not to do that, I think the federal government is going to probably pull rank on them again, and we'll see where that goes. I didn't yesterday. I listened to Christian Nielsen, the DHS head, who said basically that she was in touch with all of the governors down at the borders, and they seem to be cooperative. So that's good. Hopefully Moonbeam Brown got the message that his BS is not going to be tolerated. So we'll see where all of that goes. Yeah, it is good news, Candace. I was glad to hear. The Fed is in charge of the border, not the states. Exactly, Brandon. Right now they're asking for the cooperation of the states, trying to work together with them. But as I said, if the states decide not to, I think the federal government's going to say, "Oh well, you don't have to, but we're coming in to do it anyway." So that would be great. So I noticed that some people look like they're getting kicked out. I don't know if that's true or not. Hopefully not. Hey, Alvin. Hopefully you're not a bot, Alvin. Hey, Lisa. How are you? Good morning. So what does everybody think about the people going down, the National Guard going down to the border? I take it everybody's probably in favor of it. AKA Gopher Hockey, how are you? They want them in, but don't want the U.S. citizen question on them. I know. Isn't that amazing? They invite them in, but they don't want to ask questions. I think it's about time. Exactly. And you know what, Candace? I think it ought to be where the military and the National Guard are just down there at the border until such time as the border wall is complete. I really do. Build the damn wall. I know. Exactly. The National Guard has been at the border many times before. Yes. It's unfortunately necessary. You're right. Absolutely. Hope it works. But they'll pull the asylum card. Yep. See, that was my thing. Should have been done a long time ago, Noel said. Gonna get a wall either way, Alan said. That's my thing that I was talking about the other day, that when they go down there, when those people come up to the National Guard and they say, we want asylum, I think they're going to be forced to follow what the Border Patrol does. Wall with most of our side to flood potential tunnels, a moat, Brandon said. I think what they need, hey, millionaire, it's your first day. I think what they really need is, like the Border Patrol's been calling for, get housing down there to put the people in until deportation. Here in Texas, the DPS has been down there assisting border control for a long time, Candace said. I heard a caravan was broken up. Yeah, Jules, apparently the people are trained how to skirt around it. Hey, Beck. Yeah, they're saying that the caravan is broken up, and I don't know if it was due to President Trump putting pressure on Mexico and Mexico putting pressure on them, or they decided themselves. I don't know, but they're saying they wanted to go in smaller groups. Many of them are going to try to stay in Mexico, and some are coming here. I don't know about tents, Alan, because you know how it is. If you put up tents, then the ACLU may not say that's good enough. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Hey, rocky minefields are a great deterrent. Okay. Put them in those FEMA camps meant for us. There you go. That joker, I think that would be a really good solution. Canadian border is too easy to cross. Yeah, pretty much so, hockey. Go for hockey. I'm not sure what go for hockey is, but okay. Smaller group increases chances of maybe making it. I know, Lisa, that was my thoughts, that if you're in a smaller group like that, you also, coming to the United States, would have a better chance of getting in, because a smaller group may not be as threatening as a larger group. Hey, Hassan, how are you? So that's a possibility. There's no way to stop all of them. ACLU is supposed to be an American organization. Yeah, tell them that, Alan. It would be important for you to tell them that and for them to know that. But and the ACLU will defend like conservatives every now and then, but it's really rare. And probably as has been talked about, that group, People Without Borders, is I don't have proof of it, but it's got to be Soros funded. Hey, Chicago Pops, good morning. So I'm sure that they've put money into the People Without Borders in order to get people into the United States, infiltrate the country. As Candace says, she thinks so too. Yeah, get them in here, infiltrate the country, and take over is what they want. Illegal crossing has actually gone down since '08. So they say. It goes up and down. Good morning, Daniel. How are you? And maybe that's crossing the border. Is that legally or illegally? Meaning, or should I say maybe getting caught or not getting caught? And apparently it's gone up and down with what they call the Trump effect. It stopped it, and now it's starting back. I think the National Guard going is going to be good. I do too, Amber. Let them stay in Mexico or send them to Europe or Canada, Brandon said. Or send them back to Honduras. I know Mexico has sent some back to Honduras. I did hear yesterday, and I don't remember the source. I'm really sorry about that. It wasn't a conspiracy type thing, but it was a source that said some of those people down trying to cross the border have been given children to appear that they're families. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard, and I'm passing it along. I hope that the people trying to get in have enough common sense not to use their kids as human shields, Amber said. Don't count on it, Amber, especially if it's not your kid, meaning, like I just said, some people were claiming that they were given children to appear as a family. Mr. Playoff, how are you? Cinda Sahara Desert, Alan said. Hello, girl. Hello, Catherine. How are you? Military will not open fire. Of course not, Gopher. They're not going to open fire. We talked about this extensively the other day. They're not going to shoot unarmed people. Just not going to happen. So if they cross the border at that point, I don't know if they're under the National Guard's military law or they're under the Border Patrol, which is catch and release. Mexico needs to control their southern borders, and they never will, Chicago Pops. In San Diego for years and years and years, the sewage from Mexico pours over into San Diego and destroys some of the bays and everything else. I mean, it's disgusting. And so it was so bad at one point that the United States had to go ahead and build something that would filter all of that and keep it back and, on and on and on. But Mexico is like, it's not our problem. It's just our sewage flowing into San Diego. Why do we have to solve all the world's problems? Because, Brandon, that's what people think, that we're greedy and we're horrible and we shouldn't be rich. I saw the borrowed children thing on TV. Can't remember who said it, though. I can't either, Lisa. It was probably on Fox that I saw it, but I don't remember. But, I mean, does that surprise anybody that may be, and it may not even be these people. It could just be, ISIS or anybody in general using kids. The best thing we can do for these people is tell them about Jesus Christ, but we don't need to take them all in to do that. That's true, Amber. Mexico pushes its worst off on the United States. Yes, Chris. Lisa thought it was probably Fox. I'm good, just a little sick. Hope you're having a great day, Hassan said. Hassan, we hope you get better really soon. It's not cool to be sick. I wasn't feeling that great yesterday. How about you guys? But I feel fine today. What you do is model your country after successful ones. Yeah, and Brandon, that's what's supposed to happen. That's what we are supposed to be as a model for all the other countries to follow, not to come here and take over and to ruin what we have by coming in and wanting to bring your country with you. I mean, and all the problems of your country with you. What America was for and founded upon, and what we did forever, was have people come here and assimilate into our culture. But when we're trying to destroy the American culture, so there's no longer an American culture, that becomes a problem. Thank you so much for the words of encouragement. You're okay. You're welcome, Hussein. Cartels even make them go get surgery and implant drugs inside of them. I wouldn't be surprised, Daniel. If we went to other countries, they would say we were invading them. You betcha, Brandon. And I'll tell you something. If we went into other countries and we weren't allowed there, number one, we wouldn't get in. Number two, if we were in other countries, we would have no rights to stand up and say, this is what I want. I demand this. I demand that. Wouldn't happen. It's only in the United States when we have people like the ACLU saying you walk and you put your foot on American soil, you automatically somehow mysteriously have, constitutional rights. And that's the problem. We'd be kicked out or jailed so fast. Exactly, Brandon. And every country knows that to be true as well. We have to have a passport. Exactly. In California, starting in 2020, I believe it is, that if you want to fly, even a domestic flight in California, you have to have a specific designation on your, hey Nina, on your license. Yeah, look what happened to Tamarisi. Yeah, the problem with Tamarisi is that he got on the wrong road, went into Mexico, and that was bad. Hey guys, just taking me 15 minutes to get on. That's terrible, Lee. Countries with dictatorships will never follow successful models. That's true. Are you still getting my messages? Yes, Amber. We're probably just a little bit delayed, and so it's a little bit behind. But yes, I'm getting them loud and clear and repeating every one of them. Gayer 2000. Get an easy, get royal treatment and free stuff. Who wouldn't want to come here? Exactly, Jules. I mean... And again, you can't blame people from other countries for wanting to come in here any way they can, legally, illegally, or otherwise. There is no otherwise. But anyway, because of what you get. And I totally understand that. But I still don't want them here. And I don't care from what country they come. It doesn't matter to me. It's just that Beck said we are idiots. Yeah, it seems that way, Beck, sometimes. Hey, edible chalk. Is there such thing as edible chalk, really? That's good for kids if it is. But, I'm just, we have to, like President Trump said, like the DHS has said yesterday, we've got to get Congress to do something to get rid of catch and release. The president has already said, signed an executive order getting rid of it, but the Border Patrol... the Obama holdovers are not following President Trump. Sweet tarts, Smarties, basically edible chalk. That's true. You make a good point there. So as long as those holdovers are in there, and those are the people at the top, and they're not doing the job that they're supposed to, My toddler ate the chalk last year, so I guess so. Jules said, that's the problem. Yes, Congress is always the problem. They still don't have the right to be here. We're a country, period. Exactly, Nina. Yes, kids eat it. Make it non-toxic, Lisa said. Hondurans rely on agriculture as a main export. That isn't going to cut it in this day and age. That's pretty true, Brandon. Pretty true. Did anybody listen yesterday to the press conference? I mean, have you ever heard so much whining? I know we know that there's whining going on, but yesterday seemed especially bad. She kept calling on everybody with the name of John. There must have been 500 Johns in the room. And she even made a comment, wow, there's so many Johns in here today. I don't know if they all changed their name tags or whatever and just decided to be John for the day. But there was so much whining about the tariffs in China. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I could barely listen to it. Probably shouldn't have listened to it. Did anybody else see it? Were you listening at all yesterday? They need to fight to make their own country good. Well, Nina, if their own country was a republic, it would be that way. But if they're under dictatorships, it's not gonna do any good. You got a dictator who wants all the money. Sorry, slow typer. Not a problem, Nina. So here's some more stuff that's going on in the news. High school students in Colorado yesterday decided that there was so much anti-gun rhetoric going on. They just repeat. Yeah, same old question. You're exactly right, Jules. It's the same thing over and over. Chinese tariffs are hurting farmers in North Carolina. China is #1 importer from our state. Then maybe North Carolina needs to do something different, Brandon. Hey, Barbara. No problem. Barbara's going to listen. So what they decided in Colorado was they were going to have a walkout in support of the Second Amendment, and that's exactly what they did. Some of the students questioned about what they were doing and why. Basically, said that they wanted to have armed teachers and armed guards at the school, and they thought more guns would be better. Trump's tariffs will undo him. I don't think so, Jagger. And the thing of it is, there may not be any tariffs coming up because of the fact that as you were listening to her yesterday, that Sarah Huckabee Sanders, they kept trying to press her about the tariffs, and what I got out of it was that she was hoping that China would come to their senses and they would talk, and then they would take the tariffs off the table. So we'll see what happens. Did anybody hear about anything going on at the Waffle House? Turns out there may be more things than just waffles cooking at the Waffle House. Did anybody hear? No? Okay. Lisa didn't hear about the Waffle House. Anybody else hear anything about the Waffle House? Awful waffle. No? Okay. Chicago. No? Haha, haven't heard. Okay, so apparently the CEO is getting sued of sexual harassment by a former housekeeper. Do we want to know? You don't, Brandon. That is because the U.S. is based on God's love, but the left wants to pervert that. Yes, Amber, and that's kind of true always, because most on the left, meaning the progressive, elitist, globalists, don't believe in God. They're communists and atheists. So what happened was in court, because of the sexual harassment allegations, there were his sex tapes were played in court. And his sex tapes were of him allegedly having sex with the same housekeeper for about 6 to 9 years or something like that. I think it was 6 years. Oh, no, 9 years. Having sex with her allegedly. And so they were played in the courtroom. And the thing that kept running through my mind, Hassan said that's crazy. The thing that went through my mind is if you are having sex with your employer for 9 years, how do you then accuse him or her of sexual harassment? I mean, and I get it, but you kept coming back for 9 years, and now you want to sue for sexual harassment. Is that because of the Me Too movement? That's just unreal, right? Doesn't that constitute common law marriage? No, Chris. That was the same thing that Arnold got booted by his wife, I think. Exactly, Edible Cake said. I know. So I think this is another one of those, let's embarrass, let's take down, Me Too, whatever. Got to prove consent. Well, she's not saying it's rape. Sorry, had a phone call come in. That's okay, Candace. She's not accusing him of rape, Brandon, that I know of. It's just sexual harassment because it's an employer-employee relationship. And I get that. But 9 years, you were doing this for 9 years, and now you're just coming up with sexual harassment. It sounds a little suspicious to me. And I don't think I would have wanted to see the sex tapes in court, just to be honest with you. So, but anyway, that's supposedly Arnold Schwarzenegger got caught with his housekeeper maid, and I believe they have a child together, if I'm not mistaken. And then, so that's how he got the boot for his wife, just a tad bit. I know, Nina's like, whoa. Really? Like, do we have to look at this? Oh, I know, Catherine. Sorry, it's a joint consensual affair. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jules. But we're talking now about the CEO of the Waffle House. Arnold Schwarzenegger supposedly had an affair with his maid, yes, and they have supposedly a child together. Was she paid more, Barbara said? I don't imagine she was doing it for free. I mean, the housekeeping, that is. Sounds like a relationship of convenience or a prostitute slash John situation, Lisa said. How is Arnie after his heart operation? Lee, right after the operation, he said, I'm back. So I haven't heard anything else. Ews, feel sorry for the jurors. I know, Nina. It's like, good Lord. And I guess the Waffle House guy, I think they said he was crying or whatever. He was so embarrassed. I would imagine. But I think they're trying to get her on, taping everything. But they're saying, well, she's taped it because of sexual harassment. Yes, they have a son, looks just like Arnold. Noelle said, oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. He looks like Arnold. But, oh my gosh. Unbelievable. She taped it. Yeah, she recorded their sex. That's what the sex tapes are, Brandon. So I know, me too. Understandable. I'd cry too. Yeah, Nina, it's like, yuck. Did he know it was recorded? No, Brandon. And that's why, I think some of it they're looking at, and they probably didn't want in court because it was recorded, but I don't know what state they're in. I don't, in California, you'd have a hard time with it. You can't record somebody in California without their permission. Was he married? I believe so, Barbara, but I don't know for sure. That's not sexual harassment. That's blackmail. I know, edible chalk. That's kind of what the other side is saying, but I don't know if they're getting too far with that argument. Because she's saying, well, I did it to prove the sexual harassment. Money, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's creepy. If nothing else, it's really creepy. Remember Rod Lowe used to do that? Rob Lowe, he was doing that and filming his sex back in the day. But I know he doesn't do that anymore, supposedly. But I mean, he was doing that. Stay faithful. Exactly, Brandon. Stay faithful and you won't have to worry about that stuff. And, I mean, I don't think employers should be having sex with their employees, period. Whether they're married or not. It's, get out of that relationship. Hey, Marianne, how are you? So, I mean, it was a bad decision all the way around. Let's see. More than 1 million illegal immigrants, conflict of interest, yeah. More than 1 million illegal immigrants got driver's licenses in California. Sorry you are a maid giving favors for 9 years. You could have found another job or screamed earlier, Barbara said. Oh, nice. What's up with taping yourself? Don't get it. Nina said. True, Edible said. So we have, hey, Spencer, 1 million illegal immigrants got driver's licenses in California. They've been allowed to legally drive in California since 2015. Supposedly they have the driver's license has a distinguishing, they have to have insurance. When I was going to law school in California, I got hit by a car that just ran away quickly. My guess is that they didn't have insurance. So, I mean, you're legally supposed to have insurance. But they got off on watching themselves, and he knew about it. Kinky, hun, bad. I don't know about that, Barbara. Back in my day, Wayne said. The students wish well, but a walkout is still a walkout. Amber, I agree with you on the students in Colorado. I don't think students should be walking out of class for pro-gun control or anti-gun control or anything else. You're legally not allowed to be here, but oh well. I know, Brandon. You're not legally allowed to be here, but here's a driver's license. And we're going to put a distinguishing mark on your driver's license so you can't, it'll restrict you from, some federal things, including voting. Although in voting, they scan my ID when voting. Do they in California, Lisa? The answer is no. They don't ask you for anything in California. You just say, hey, I'm John Smith. They're like, okay, go vote. I haven't heard about the Waffle House. And Amber, hopefully you won't see any pictures from the Waffle House either. At least not of the sex tapes. I know, Lisa. I mean, basically in California, yeah, that's right, Brandon. They ID you for beer, hopefully. And for everything else, for voting, You just say, you don't even really have to say your name. You do have to sign saying you are who you said you are, and that's it. And then you go on in and vote. However, if you vote by mail, I don't know if you have to sign the ballot or not, and nobody's asking you for your ID there, so no more waffle buying. Same here in Arkansas, Nina said. I know, Lee. I don't go to the Waffle House, and we don't have one here anyway. And I won't be going to the Waffle House in the future. North Carolina has a DUI problem in the Hispanic community. Brandon said they don't learn anything in those government indoctrination camps anyway. Alan said. um. Okay, here's some news out of University of Berkeley in California. There was a chemical attack on a woman at 1:35 a.m. Supposedly, she was a female employee in the bathroom, and some man threw ammonia on her. Nothing on registration form asking citizenship. I wouldn't think so, Candace. Give them free stuff so they vote for us. Yep. Why does Trump want the military to build the wall? John, he doesn't want the military to build the wall. In fact, I don't think the military can build the wall. You can't use the money for funding for the wall out of the military. What's been set aside for the military. The Army Corps of Engineer may be helping. That may be some of the things. They may be looking at things. I don't know. He's not asking for the military to build the wall. He's asking for the military or the National Guard to protect the border. Oh, Lord, that is awful. Is she okay? I don't know, Lee. They didn't say anything else about her. I think it's awful. I don't know why an employee would be in the bathroom at 1:35, except for the fact she may work at night. And the guy knew she was there. I don't know. Special Forces tested the wall for scalpability and said you can't scale it. Oh, scalpability. I thought there was a P in there. I'm like, scalpability. Yeah, scalability. Yeah. And really, the military is not building the wall. Or at least the money's not being used for it. Trump is wonderful. Thank you for coming in and saying that, Dark Gladiator. Now, see you later. I just love when people come in and they try to bash Trump and think that they can stay. They have to go. Funding wall on military-owned property on the border, that's all. They use catapults. What a joy on earth, Brandon said. Drain the swamp, build the wall, Hassan said. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys could, we're past the halfway mark. If you didn't mind retweeting this, that would be great. And sharing it, that would be wonderful. That would be wunderbar. Now, a group called the Cause of Action has discovered that EPA employees have downloaded apps on their phones that they're not supposed to have. And some of the apps on the phone that they found was one which was a boycott Trump app. And they felt that some of them were doing that in order to try to go against the Trump campaign and go against President Trump. Organize a resistance. I know, Brandon, that would be you're fired. I'll tell you something. All the employees who have an app on their phone, I think if they don't protect the border, we may end up with citizens blocking the border from them, Nina said. Probably true. I don't type slowly, but my messages are so slow to get to you, you don't have to read this out loud. I already did. Sorry, Amber. It's okay. I think there's a 30-second delay on YouTube, Amber. And if you can also come to Periscope at Susan Knowles, and you'll get it. They'll come out much faster. If all of those people who are downloading apps such as Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be, you're not supposed to do that on your government phone. I think all those people need to be fired right away. EPA, of course they would. Trump hasn't been friendly to them, removing restrictions and all. Yeah, edible. Same here. I'm so slow, Nina said. It's okay. Yeah, but I think those people should go immediately. Because they're disobeying the rules of their employment. There's probably something that they signed saying that they can't do that as well. And in a state like California, if they were in California, they could be fired for no reason whatsoever. That's what a personal phone is for, and use it on break or when you are off. That's right, Brandon. But see, in the world that we're in today, it's people think, oh, I can do whatever I want to. I have freedom of speech. Well, no, you don't. There are certain jobs that you have to do what you're told to do. YouTube gone wild this week. Any thoughts? Hassan said shouldn't have anything like that on a work phone. That's true, Lee. No, nothing at all. I want to tell you a little bit about that YouTube person, just so you get a feel for some things. Entitlement has ruined Americans. There you go, Brandon. I wanted to tell you a little bit about where that YouTube woman, I'll just keep it at that, is supposed to have come from. Supposedly, she lived with a family in Menifee, California. It's in Riverside. It's a very small town. Yeah, the white woman. It's a very small town in Riverside. It's kind of like, if you know, well, you probably don't know where it is, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's a small town. Now, supposedly, she moved. That's where her parents live, and she was living with them. She moved out of there, supposedly went to San Diego in a neighborhood called 4S Ranch. 4S Ranch is a very expensive neighborhood. You've got to have money to live in 4S Ranch. A lot of the homes sometimes are gated, but they're expensive homes. I don't know who she was living there with. I don't think she was probably bought anything on her own, perhaps. Maybe she was living with somebody. I don't know. Hey, Marlene, good to see you. It also made mention that she spoke Farsi. That doesn't mean necessarily that she's Iranian, but it usually, Zuckerberg is a Democrat. It means that she could have been Iranian. So she was suffering from affluenza, maybe. I don't know, Edible. I watched some of her videos. She seemed not all there. Yeah. To me, it seemed like from what she was saying and doing that she may have had some mental illness. Her dad called the cops and told him about this. Police failed again. Brandon, but wait, back it up. Her parents, supposedly, and her brother, none of her people in her family knew that she had a weapon, according to them. If they called the police and said she may be angry at YouTube and we need for you to stop her, find her, whatever, they did find her. They said that she was sleeping in her car. She made the excuse that she was sleeping in the car in order to find a place to live. Now, if she had had a gun in California, the family could say, we want you to take the gun away from her. Want you to take the gun away from her because she's a danger to herself or others. And so if she didn't have a gun, they couldn't do that. Now, the police on their own could have done what's called a 5150. If she seemed like she was a threat to self or others, they could have arrested her. Probably what happened is they talked to her. She seemed okay, and there was nothing they can do. Conflicting stories between the family and authorities, though. Lisa, I've heard some people say about the family, that there's some things that they don't like about it, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Hey, Lynn. That's okay, Lynn. So I don't know. I mean, that's when you say that the police failed again, I don't think the police really had anything that they could have done. And just saying, I mean, I could say about somebody on here, they seemed really angry towards YouTube. That doesn't mean they're going to go in and start blowing up YouTube and killing people. So, I mean, I don't think the police had, based on what I've heard, there could be more, the police didn't really have a legitimate reason to arrest her or take her in. Again, if they talked to her and she sounded fine, what are they going to arrest her or take her in for? Good morning, my Sue. Internet was down for 2 days, but it's good to be with you all. Thank you, Josette. Good that you're here. In Texas, 10 to 22 men with the gun. What is that, Wayne? Gotcha. Thanks for the clarification. Not a problem, Brandon. I mean, it is quick to look at the police and go, oh my gosh, you had her and you talked to her. Okay, Mug. Bye-bye. So, you had a call on the radio, and when was that? Just now, Wayne? Is there something going on in Texas right now? Yeah, Mugwump had to go back and clean the mug swamp. I guess apparently too, the Pentagon is now working with Google on a project Project involves the Google building a technology that could be used for drones. And the employees of Google are saying, please don't work with the Pentagon. Drop that contract. It'll ruin our brand. Google is the government. I know. I mean, Brandon, obviously, if you're working with the Pentagon, that's the call sign for police. 1022. If you're working with Google and you're with the government, they're probably connected with you, just like you said. I mean, they're at least working with the government that we know. And even at Facebook at one time was, of course, with the Obama administration. So, and you know what gets me about employees, they want their jobs and they love their money, right? But they're trying to tell their bosses what they can and can't do. NSA tendencies for sure. Exactly. Now, here's some news that I heard this morning. This is from the Challenger, Gray, and it looks like Christmas. I don't know. It's a law firm, a consulting firm. They said that job cuts are starting to grow. They report 140,379 job cuts at the end of the first quarter, which is a 44% increase from the same quarter last year. I had to go out and back. I wasn't seeing any other comments this whole time. That's crazy, Lisa. I'm telling you, Periscope doesn't like what we talk about. They really don't. Is anybody else not seeing comments? Can't see is in what industry or across the board? They were saying across the board, Brandon. And again, I don't know if it's true, and I don't know who that law firm or consulting firm is. You get that a lot, Nina? Wow. Marlene can see. Good. Waving hi. Dr. Stephen. Hello, Dr. Stephen. How are you? I've got comments. Okay, perfect. Maybe just some people with their connection. I think I'm seeing all comments. Censorship. I'd love to see the numbers. I smell an agenda. I know. Could be Brandon. I can see now. Good, Lisa. In conservative scopes. Yep, Nina. Always. Let's see. They're saying also there may be some conflict of interest potential with Bolton. I hope not. Apparently, he's talking with attorneys now, but I don't know. The talk was about a possible future role with a super PAC, and that might be an issue. My thing of it is, if that's true, then he should get out of the contract or whatever with the super PAC if that's keeping him from taking that position. And hopefully it won't. There's kind of like talk about it right now. So I see jobs rising and housing prices and equity on the rise as well. I do too, Brandon. I don't know what they're talking about. They're saying, well, maybe it's starting to slow. Again, I think you might be right. It could possibly be, an agenda on their part. So I've only seen that one place reported, and I just wanted to let you know. But I would say, be cautious when you're looking at it because I don't know, who these people are. Could be like, the GPS. It's a seller's market right now. Yeah, it is. I rebooted my phone the other day, reset network settings. Phone is working better all around. Good, Carmen. Remember the cyclist that flipped off the Trump motorcade, and it was a woman on a bicycle, and she got fired. Well, now she's suing her employer for firing her. Yeah, so hopefully she won't win her lawsuit. I don't have a lot of free time. I just saw that I am still watching your other video, God's Views on Political News. Good, Amber. Amber, you can also listen to God's Views on Political News. If you just want to hear the audio, you can go to Spreaker, and you can look up Stand for Truth Radio with Susan Knowles. That way you can download the Spreaker podcast and take it with you and listen to it in the car or anywhere else that you are. I post it on there after the show. There's a town board in Deerfield, Illinois. So Chicago Pops, listen up. Town board is giving residents 60 days to get rid of their assault-type weapons, or they will face fines up to $1,000 a day. Caught up yesterday in God's Views was excellent, Susan. Thank you, Lee. So I don't know how this town board, how they're not violating the constitutional rights of these people who live in this, you know, this area in Deerfield. Assault type is a scare tactic and made up term by the left. Yes, I know. I know, Nina. It's like I would be filing a lawsuit. Maybe they will. Class action suit. I tell them to speak to my lawyer, Brandon said. Yep. I mean, I just don't know how they're going to do it. I know, right? And then left to say, we don't want to take your guns. I know. And, well, it's the same thing that they do. It's a Saul Alinsky rule book. You say it long enough and often enough, they think people will start to believe it. And a lot of times that's true. So get rid of knives and hammers as well. That's right, Chris. Don't tread on me, Brand. You know what? If I were those people, everybody in that, wherever they're talking about, that town, that complex or whatever, I would be putting my "don't tread on me" flag out every day. And what I would do as well is get rid of whoever that town board is and get myself a new town board. I don't own any guns, Wayne said. I think, you know, you have a problem when you have a town board that goes against your Second Amendment rights. I know. And you know, maybe the people of Deerfield, Illinois won't mind. I think if they did that in California and a lot of places, they wouldn't mind either. But so far, they haven't been that emboldened in California to try to take away the Second Amendment rights like that. That's what I would say, Wayne said. Yeah, but statistically, handguns are used more often. That is their ultimate goal, guns. Yep, time to move. I'd be all over that one, Nina said. Shh, don't jinx it. I know. Edible, honestly, California's probably thought of that. But I think it should be voted on, Lisa said. And maybe it was, Lisa. I don't know. Maybe the town board took a vote and that's what they came up with. I have no idea. Probably didn't. They probably did it themselves. Speaking of voting, though, Aliso Viejo, it's a city in California, Southern California. They decided last night, after I guess it was a 6-hour meeting going back and forth, they decided last night to join the lawsuit in California against sanctuary cities. Been another 2 stabbings in London last night. Your rights are not up for vote, though. Yes. No, it wasn't. The board voted unanimously. Okay, Lisa. So Lisa said the board voted themselves unanimously, didn't take a vote. And you know what? Again, that would be a board that I would be going around petitioning to get rid of. No, even with voting, they can't get rid of a constitutional right. Yes, that's correct. It is great to see some of the cities in California fight sanctuary cities. Yes, it is, Dr. Stephen. Because Aliso Viejo, Los Alamitos, Huntington Beach, so far. And I think there may have been one other Mission. I don't know if it was Mission Viejo or some other place the other night. I don't know what happened with that one. There was one that was kind of fighting against it, but I don't know who that was. How does that even pass? Wow, Brandon said. How does what pass, Brandon? That in California, or are we talking about the town board in Illinois? In California, if you're talking about that, the people of California didn't have a say in the sanctuary state. Oh, the town board? I don't know. I guess people decided to get together. They'll probably face problems with the state because of it. Oh, you know they will, Nina. You know they will. At one point, it was kind of like the AG of California was kind of a little flippant about maybe he would think about arresting them. Well, he hasn't arrested them. So I would say, Mr. AG, that if you go out and arrest them, then I would say the federal government's going to probably come and arrest you and others like the mayor in Oakland. So don't push your luck. Yeah, it's going to be a big fight. And there's apparently a sheriff in New York that Governor Cuomo is not very happy with because he basically is going out, and let me see if I can find the story. He's going out and learning from ICE on how to help ICE. State police agents, and here's what Cuomo said. State police agencies do not and will not engage in such activity, and we are troubled that one local sheriff in the state has decided to participate. It takes one person to start, and hopefully it will snowball. A New York sheriff is the first in his state to sign up for an ICE program that trains local law enforcement to vet immigration offenders and process them at the federal level. According to ICE, the program provides a 4-week basic training program and a 1-week refresher training program conducted by certified instructors. The program is meant to help local police departments determine a suspect's immigration status and whether they are wanted by ICE for a previous crime. I say, go, Sheriff, go. Yes, good for him. Absolutely. And again, it takes one person. It's what happened in California. One person stood up in Orange County, one sheriff, and then everybody else started to follow suit. So, I think we should support him as much as we possibly can there in New York. On Facebook, the personal information of up to 87 million users has been improperly shared with Cambridge Analytica, according to Facebook. Yes, Brandon, we have to start throwing money at stuff we believe in. Absolutely. So does anybody think that Mark Zuckerberg should resign from Facebook? Everyone doing one thing would be doing a lot. Yes, Carmen, exactly. So you can better believe that 87 million users, that information was probably our information, conservatives' information. Marky Mark should disclose the details. We're zucked. Yep. Relentless. Yep. Noel says, yep. This not protecting us as American citizens over that of other countries is really old. Yep. Zuckerberg needs to go, Carmen said. Disgraceful, so glad I'm not on Facebook, Lee said. He's a nut job. Monk said. I know you were talking about Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg needs to face a judge about selling his stock before all this came out, at least. Yeah, isn't that... well, you, sweetheart, you have a nice day, Monk. Maybe go back and do something else. Zuckerberg is a criminal, period, Nina said. Well, Facebook makes money from our information, folks, Brandon said. He was freely giving information under the Obama administration, according to reports. So, he just got paid probably for the information he gave to Cambridge. And again, it was probably our information, stuff they probably already knew. I know why some comments I cannot see, they have me blocked. Oh. Well, then, I see. I personally didn't see anything negative on Facebook about Hillary that I didn't disagree with. And Daniel, I didn't see that much on Facebook about her in negative. If we think it's only Facebook, I think we've been fooled. Yes. Yes. Obama campaign bragged about the amount of information they got from Facebook. Yes, Brandon. Probably nothing. You can believe it was our info. Yes. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah, it was our information. Susan, do you also speak on the radio? I do guest appearances sometimes on radio stations, Amber. I do my podcast on Spreaker. They froze me. I think I'm still going, Carmen. Freezing up. Okay. Wow, there we go. We're getting near the end of it, so hopefully they're not freezing me up too badly. You're good now. Okay. I almost crossed the line with them, I guess, when I talked about Facebook. Yes, definitely you can see lots of information they have on you and advertising permissions going in and out here all day, Barbara said. Good. Any info you put on Facebook, they own forever. It never gets deleted if you deactivate your account. Julia said, as far as I'm concerned, the alleged hacker said the truth about Hillary. Exactly. Throttled again. Yep, Brandon, you bet. They do that. They cut back on the people that can see my stuff, that have a hard time getting to my stuff. Snowden said all about this a few years ago. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people who think that Amazon, Google, Twitter, Facebook are all going to be broken up. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But they are so big. You can't prevent people tagging you on Facebook either. Now, relentless, you can untag, but that's about it. We probably said we agree way back there and never read it. We knew, do not pretend we did not. Yeah. I hope to see you one day on Hannity. I would be nice, just that, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Social media collusion. Yeah, they'll fight back and will probably win, Nina said. There are children doing worse things that Periscope needs to worry about. Edible, I'm telling you, you aren't hurting anyone with Periscope. There are some things on Periscope that, that come on at night that are just really disgusting. I mean, seriously, I try to stay off of Periscope late nights and off of Twitter late nights. It's disgusting. Well, if Cerno got there, you can. Yeah, I guess so. I have been on some shows. I've been on The Blaze before on several shows. I have been there. And several radio shows, including Todd Starnes' radio show. So, and local stations in San Diego. I've also been in Atlanta, Miami, New York. I believe it was in New York broadcast. But yes, Periscope can get nasty. It does, Brandon. It gets disgusting. He was a hero of mine once. Barbara said, cool. Lynn said, I love doing guest appearances. I really do. It's a lot of fun. It really is. The James show, I haven't heard of it. The Blaze. Yes. I've been on the Glenn Beck show, the Morning Blaze, and I've also been on Pat and Stu show. It's frightening to see how young some are on Periscope and hundreds of viewers creeps. I know, Lisa. Interview Pastor JD. Yeah, that'd be great, Brandon. I don't know if he does interviews like that, but he's great. On a lot of my shows now, I used to interview a lot of people on my podcast, and I've started just kind of doing it where it's just me. And, I know people like guests, but I'll tell you what, I was having to do so much work because I want to be prepared when my guests come on that I was reading about a book a week. And I mean, read the book. And I get people on, and I would read their book. I would know the book better than they did, and I would interview them. But that takes a lot of time for one person to do all that I do, in the Periscopes, the podcasts, the this and the that, and then to read a book, set up all the guests, interview them, took a lot of my time, and trying to write articles at the same time. I love Pat and Stu years ago. Will not watch now because of the way they treated Trump. I know, Julia. I used to be a contributor to The Blaze. I'm no longer a contributor to The Blaze. Yeah, so I mean, literally, I've read a lot. I've had Dr. Corsi on my show. I've had Ted Malloch on my show. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the people I had on. I just love to hear what JD has to say about the state of the world. Well, Brandon, you can go to JD's website. Hey, Patrick. And see all of what he says. Is you want to look at the prophecy updates he does every Sunday. He'll tell you what he thinks about the state of the world. So just go to JD Farag on YouTube and look at the Sunday prophecy updates. Those are really, really good. I watch his updates on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, he'll basically say about the same thing, because when he goes to Jan Markell's stuff, he'll say the same thing. He basically tells you exactly what he tells everybody else on her shows. Yeah, I a lot of these people, did you have a great day off season? Yes, Lynn, I did. I really, really love the Wednesdays to get kind of like disengaged as much as I can on some things politically speaking, and where I can just do whatever. Did you see Iran, Turkey, and Russia had a meeting? Yes, they did, Nina. They were talking about Syria. I think what it is, they want us to pull out of Syria, which it sounds like we may be doing eventually, and with no timeline, of course. But, Iran, Russia, and Turkey aren't going anywhere out of Syria. They're staying right there. It's getting harder to sift through stories, so much info and disinformation. Yes, a border wall and fence destroys life for animals, humans, and environment. No, actually, PR, I think it's just the other way around. It preserves life. So it's good we have countries talking with each other. Yeah, well, definitely they want us out. Yes, Nina, they do. Because eventually, according to the Bible, they're going to come in and they're going to go down into Israel. And probably the way they're going to do it is through Syria. So they're not going anywhere out of Syria. They're staying in Syria. They want us out. So, because those are the people that are named in biblical terms, Gog and Magog. Hey, Brandon, you have a wonderful day too. Exactly. Fascinating to see. Yep, Nina, and we're living in those times where we're seeing all of it come to pass. I mean, it's an amazing, exciting time on one hand. And no, I'm not ignoring you, Carmen. I don't know what you said. It's amazing to watch. Yep. Oh, you were talking about Jack Hibbs. He's in California. I know where he's at, but I'm probably not going to have Jack Hibbs on my show. I'm not interviewing people right now, Carmen. I'm not interviewing people right now. Scary but incredible. Yes, Nina, absolutely. Take care, guys. Great scope again, Susan. Thank you, Lee. Border wall does not hurt the environment. How could it? Some states have walls and fences in areas. Exactly, Barbara. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think you're a little bit maybe an extremist on the left, but anyway. She was a PR nationalist, so that might I don't know what all that means, but it can't be great in her instance when she's spreading false rumors. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming on. Please retweet all this. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Take care, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thank you over here on YouTube. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming on.